It is a cold one today, and it's windy. Holy moly, the wind has been blowing like crazy all day. And I just noticed up here, the boiler, the outdoor wood boiler, or burner, whatever you want to call it, has kicked in and is blowing smoke out the top, so the fan is on. I figured I would come up here and just check how much wood is in there and make sure the fire is going, because it's been running quite a bit today. And I should probably take this off so you can hear me better. But the one thing that I never did when I started up the boiler, I was going to do a follow-up video on how this thing works and how it provides free heat. That's right, the free heat revolution. Hashtag free heat to our house all winter long. And it's actually down to 159. So let's check the fire, and then I will take you inside where it's a little warmer, and I'll kind of explain how this system works. All right, I'm opening the bypass, and that just lets the smoke that's in the firebox escape right up the stack without coming out the door, hopefully. And it just turned on, so it's just getting going and just starting to reignite. So there's plenty of wood in here. Got a nice bed of coals going down there, so no wood needed at the moment. So the frequency of filling up hasn't really changed. Once the temperature gets kind of colder like it is now, I will put more wood in than I was putting in, say, a month ago. So that's pretty much the only thing that changed, is that I still come out twice a day. It's just that now when it's cold like it is for the last week, I'm putting in more wood than I did back in October. So I usually come out between 7 and 9 in the morning, and then in the evening it's around probably between 9 and 10. So the boiler on here has this is the temperature of the water that is inside the water jacket. So the water temperature is right now at 159, and that has two different set points. So when the temperature of the water drops to 160, that blower that you hear, or maybe you can't hear, but this blower right here will kick on and force air into the firebox to get the fire burning again. Just like that. So now it's burning, it's getting air, it's heating the water back up. Once the water temperature reaches 170, that will shut off. And then it just is a continuous cycle. So the water temperature inside the boiler here has nothing to do with the temperature of the house. So this is only dependent on the temperature of the water that continuously cycles between the boiler and the house. And it's, I don't know, I think it's like 90, I forget how many feet it is to the house. It's not that far. So the water that's inside the water jacket here keeps circulating into the house and back all the time. And when the heat is pulled off the water in the house, that is what makes the water temperature drop. Turns on the blower, it heats the water back up. And so the water temperature has really nothing to do with the temperature in the house. Speaking of the house, let's go in there right now. Check out the Christmas tree, all put up and decorated. Check that out. I think it's a 12-footer. I dropped that big boy with the 500i. Oh yes, indeed I did. We went to a tree farm and they were handing out the little hand saws, but I had the 500i in the back of the truck. I pulled that out and buzzed it right off. So inside the house we actually have the dang elf on a shelf is over here hiding. I'm gonna have to move you for a second. Hopefully I didn't just ruin Christmas. But anyway, we have two thermostats in the house. And the one down here is for the gas furnace, and then this one controls just the fan on the natural gas furnace. So when the temperature in the house drops below 74, that will turn the fan on inside the furnace downstairs. This other thermostat is set so that if the boiler were to go out and the temperature drops below 60, I think 6 or 65, then the actual natural gas furnace will turn on. So this right here just regulates the fan inside the furnace, and we have the house set at 74. Down in the basement, the first stop, so this red line right here is the water coming in. So the first stop from the boiler is at this heat exchanger, and this is the heat exchanger for the hot water. So this mixes with the water going into the water tank, and it preheats it, heats it up really hot. So when we go and take a shower, we have some of the hottest water this side of the Mississippi. And that all happens right here. So the very first stop, so as that water is circulating, you know, round and round, continuously circulating from the boiler, the first stop is to, if needed, preheat and mix with the hot water. And from here, it goes up and goes over to the forced air furnace. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the forced air, the fan just shut off. So, all right, so here is that line coming in from the heat exchanger for the hot water heater. And now this is the exchanger for the forced air furnace. So air gets blown up across this exchanger. It draws the heat off the water and then sends it up into the house through the ductwork. And so this is, again, continuously cycling. Hot water coming in, heat gets pulled off, the cool water returns to the boiler. But right now, with the furnace having just shut off, there's no air being forced across this exchanger, so the water is just going to continuously circulate. And this is where, like I mentioned earlier, when the air is forced across this heat exchanger, or we run hot water, that's what draws the heat from the water that then cools the water, that then turns on the boiler fan and starts the fire going again. So it's a pretty simple system. There's two thermostats that kind of control the temperature. It regulates the temperature in the house, and then the thermostat on the boiler regulates the temperature of the water that is being circulated throughout the system. And the two big savings that we see from this, obviously the number one is heating our house. Yes, we heat the house. We keep it at 74 all winter long, October through May. So that's the one big savings. And then the other one is the hot water. So just on average, our electric bill, because this is an electric water heater, our electric bill is almost cut in half. Now, the one part of that is the fact that during the summer, the electric bill, we're also running the pumps for the pool and all that stuff. So that does come into account, but a pretty significant savings on the electric bill when we are running the outdoor wood boiler, just because of the electric water heater. And then, of course, the other big one, the heat. You know, don't have to turn on the gas, don't have to pay a bill to heat the house, which is always nice. So hopefully that kind of answered the questions that I sometimes get with how the outdoor wood boiler works as far as heating the house. The water that is inside the system, there's no, like, it doesn't come into contact with the domestic water here. Everything goes through a heat exchanger. So when the air and the water pull the heat from the water in the system, it cools down. The boiler kicks on, heats the water back up, and it just keeps going continuously all day long, all year long, whenever the boiler is running. So hopefully that explained it. If you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow night on the live stream. Hopefully we have better luck. I think last week we got hit with an EMP or something. The live stream, everything went offline for a little bit and we had some technical difficulties. So hopefully this week that doesn't happen, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Friday Night Live, 8 p.m. Central. Stay safe, have fun, be cool.
all night. Starting at